There's just something about the way Bryan Okwara carries himself lately that keeps making people pause for a second whenever his name comes up around Sonia Uch. Nobody is even shouting or doing too much, but somehow the conversation around him keeps sounding the same everywhere. Calm, mature, soft gentleman energy. And honestly, the funny part is that nobody can even point to one exact thing he did. It's more like a collection of tiny moments people keep noticing without trying. The kind of energy that quietly enters a room before people finally realize why everything suddenly feels calmer. Bryan has slowly become that rare type of actor people describe with words that almost sound old-fashioned, not because he talks too much or tries to prove anything, but because he moves like somebody who already understands himself. In a time where everybody seems to be competing to look louder, tougher, or more dramatic, his own style feels strangely peaceful. Even when he's acting emotional scenes, there's this controlled calmness around him that makes people pay attention harder instead of looking away. And somehow, once people started pairing that energy beside Sonia Uch's softer emotional presence in movies, viewers began creating their own little interpretations in their heads. Not wild theories, just observations people can't stop making. The kind where someone watches a scene and immediately says, "Why does this feel so natural?" That's where the whole soft gentleman energy conversation really started growing, because Bryan doesn't behave like someone trying to impress the room. He behaves like someone already comfortable enough to let everyone else shine too. And that tiny difference changes everything. In many romantic stories, viewers are used to seeing aggressive confidence or loud chemistry, but with Bryan, people keep noticing patience instead. The way he listens during scenes, the way he pauses before speaking, the way his expressions carry emotion without needing exaggerated reactions. It creates this feeling that his presence is safe, steady, and emotionally aware. That's the part viewers keep reacting to the most, not because it's flashy, but because it feels rare. Then add Sonia into the mix, and the atmosphere becomes even more noticeable. Sonia naturally brings this emotional warmth into scenes. Her reactions feel soft but expressive at the same time. So when Bryan's calm energy sits beside that, the balance suddenly feels almost too smooth, like two completely different personalities accidentally fitting together in the easiest way possible. And once people notice that type of balance, they cannot unsee it anymore. Some viewers even joke that Bryan acts like the kind of man who remembers small details without needing reminders. The type that speaks gently even during tense moments. The type that doesn't rush conversations just to sound powerful. That image has slowly attached itself to him because of the way he presents emotions on screen. Even silence around him somehow feels intentional. What makes it more interesting is that Bryan's energy doesn't look forced at all. That's the key reason people keep talking about it. Sometimes actors try too hard to appear mature, and it immediately starts looking performative. But Bryan's own style feels effortless. He looks like someone who naturally understands emotional control. So instead of viewers feeling like they're watching a performance, they start reacting like they're watching somebody real. And honestly, that's where the fascination keeps growing, because soft gentleman energy is not about being weak or overly emotional. It's more about emotional confidence without noise, the ability to stay composed without trying to dominate every scene. Bryan somehow carries that effortlessly, especially in emotional storylines where tension could easily become loud or chaotic. There's also the way he handles eye contact in scenes that keeps making people notice him differently. Strange detail, but viewers pick up those things quickly. Bryan tends to look fully present during conversations instead of rushing reactions. That alone changes how scenes feel emotionally. Suddenly people start describing his acting with words like comforting, steady, calm, reassuring. And before long, the internet basically created a full personality image around him without even realizing it. Meanwhile, Sonia's natural softness only intensifies that conversation even more. Together, they create this calm emotional rhythm on screen that feels different from the usual dramatic pairings people are used to seeing. It's almost like viewers get emotionally relaxed while watching them interact. No unnecessary tension, no exaggerated dominance, just emotional flow that feels strangely easy to watch. That ease is exactly why people keep talking. And the funniest part is that Bryan's soft gentleman reputation didn't even explode because of one big moment. It grew from accumulation. Tiny scenes, tiny reactions, tiny gestures, the way he comforts characters. The way he delivers emotional lines quietly instead of aggressively. The way he carries protective energy without making it feel possessive or controlling. People notice all those details more than actors realize. Even his calm facial expressions have become part of the conversation. Some viewers say he has the kind of face that looks like it's always thinking before reacting. That mature stillness alone changes how audiences interpret his characters. Instead of seeing somebody trying to dominate emotionally, they see somebody emotionally grounded. And honestly, audiences are starving for that kind of energy lately. For years, many viewers got used to dramatic male characters who equate masculinity with aggression or emotional distance. So when someone like Bryan appears with a softer, calmer presence, it immediately stands out. Not because he's trying to be different, but because he reminds people that quiet confidence can actually feel more attractive than loud performance. That's why the soft gentleman energy phrase keeps sticking to him. People see someone who feels emotionally available without looking fragile. Someone who looks mature without acting robotic. Someone who appears protective without trying to control every scene around him. It creates this balance viewers find comforting, especially beside Sonya's emotional expressiveness. At this point, some people even say Bryan and Sonya scenes feel less like acting and more like watching two people genuinely understand emotional timing. The pauses feel natural. The reactions feel measured. Nothing feels rushed. That soft packing quietly pulls viewers deeper into scenes without needing unnecessary chaos. And maybe that's the real reason this conversation keeps growing. People are reacting to emotional softness presented with confidence. Not loud romance, not exaggerated masculinity, just calm maturity mixed with warmth. Bryan somehow delivers that naturally and audiences immediately attached meaning to it, so now whenever his name appears around Sonya Uch, the same phrases continue showing up over and over again. Calm, mature, gentle, soft-spoken energy, protective presence, emotional intelligence. And honestly, once people started noticing it, there was no way the conversation was ever going to stop again.